This is the Honda Prologue. Prologue to what? Well, certainly to a much more electrified future for Honda. This is a battery electric vehicle, full electric, two-row SUV. Get in. This is Family Wheels. The Prologue was designed in cooperation between General Motors and Honda. That deal no longer exists, but this platform is also underneath the Acura ZDX luxury electric SUV, also the Chevrolet Blazer EV, and the Cadillac Lyriq. The range is not terrific, 439 kilometers. Okay, that's okay. On this specification, the top trim, the two lower trims, 452 kilometers. The front-wheel drive versions available in the US have greater range than that. And really, it's a function of the weight of the vehicle and the 85 kilowatt-hour battery. If you want to get up around 500K or more into that 300-mile range, then you're getting battery sizes up around 100. In fact, the ZDX battery is just over 100 kilowatt hours. 288 horsepower in the all-wheel drive version we have here, and all-wheel drive is the only specification you can get in Canada. There is a 212 horsepower version available in the United States that's front-wheel drive, and I don't know how it would get you down the road. But let's take the all-wheel drive version up one of Vancouver's steeper hills, see what the pep is like. That's much better than I expected, and that's likely because we have 333 pound-feet of torque. Let's check the handling through a series of bends. It's actually fairly well composed for a 5,000-pound vehicle. As with all vehicles, tires make a huge difference, and we've got 21 inches on this vehicle. They're really wide, so that definitely helps hustle a big, heavy BEV through corners, like this one. I call this a mid-size SUV because it's one step larger than your standard compact SUV, such as a CR-V. So let's take it down our neighborhood bumpy road and see how it handles the patches, the potholes, and the speed bumps. The ride is about as smooth as one could expect on a road like this. However, it feels a bit clunky. Overall, the actual feel of the ride is perfectly normal. Well, let's check out the road noise isolation up this kind of pebbly street, and there is noise from that coming through into the cabin. Not something I would particularly be happy about at this price level. The Prologue's implementation of one-pedal driving is simply excellent. Tiny bit of brake application on my part because it's quite a steep hill, and there actually is a higher level of regeneration. I don't know if I would ever use it because this is plenty good as it is. Also, up here on the left side of the steering wheel, there is another button that allows you to temporarily increase the regeneration and thus the braking. Okay, once more with the high level of regen, one-pedal driving. It's very effective, but it would take some getting used to because it really does slow the vehicle down in a hurry. All electrified vehicles, hybrids, plug-in hybrids, or full battery electrics like this vehicle, all make a sound to the outside world so that pedestrians can hear you because these are very quiet. However, in this case, the low-speed sound that the Prologue makes is also audible inside. One aspect of the Prologue that I would find difficult to live with is the lack of rearward visibility. First of all, the window is quite shallow, and then it's also hemmed in by the headrests. Your visible area out the back is actually quite small. The Prologue comes in 3 trims. In Canada, they are EX, EX-L, and the top spec we have here, Touring, which is definitely the everything bagel, Bose sound, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless charging, heated as well as ventilated leather seats, big panoramic moonroof back here, adaptive cruise control. In the US, there are also 3 trims. That's EX, Touring, and Elite. And say the Touring here in Canada, Elite in the US are about the same. The Prologue has Google built in, enabling voice control of some functions, especially navigation. It's the best nav I've ever used. Many people complain that modern automobiles have too many controls buried in menus. But here, we might have too many hard buttons. 2 levels of them. You can also do climate controls from the touch screen. But it does take a bit of getting used to in this age to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 buttons. The Prologue is bigger than Honda's compact SUV, the CR-V, and thus we have a lot more cabin room, front and rear seats. Now, I'm 5 feet 11 inches tall, 180 centimeters, and behind me is the kind of child seat that takes up the most room, rear facing. Up front, however, plenty of room between my knees and the glove box door. I've adjusted the front seat of the Prologue to give myself even more legroom up there, and here in the back, lots of room still for a person of my height. 2 adults can sit comfortably back here. Now, as far as niceties go, we have 2 USB-C ports. In fact, all the connectors are USB Type-C. There is a 3-prong outlet back here. No heated rear seats, though. There is a lovely panoramic moonroof. Well, that's our look at the Honda Prologue, an interesting battery electric vehicle. Many pluses, some shortcomings, but what do you think? Leave a comment. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, and thanks for subscribing. I'm Richard Detman, and I'll see you next time on Family Wheels.